Hi there, this is Chris Chubnick at Mojo Legends. Today I want to talk to you about a new helmet from the Korean brand Scorpion. The helmet is called the Exo-Tech Evo Pro. The new Exo-Tech Evo Pro is an upgraded version of the company's long-standing Tech Pro model, which in truth is pretty much the same helmet as this, but it's got a cheaper plastic shell. Such shells in the motorcycle industry are known as polycarbonates, but really polycarbonate is just a fancy name for plastic. You can still obviously get a plastic helmet or a polycarbonate helmet through 2206. In fact, it's well known that plastic helmets can be very good at absorbing energy, but plastic shells are not as strong, so they can easily crack if they are subjected, for example, to multiple impacts. Now, it's assumed by some that all helmets that pass the 2206 standard are therefore, by definition, equally protective, but that's actually far from being the case, which is why even the most hard-up racers don't buy the helmets from Lidl. Suggesting that all 2206 helmets are equally protective is like suggesting that all bikes perform to the same standard because they all pass the same MOT. Like EN 17092, 2206 works on the basis of a minimum standard. Now this helmet is what is known as a flip-over helmet, and that's not the same as a flip-up helmet like the Shoei Neotec or, for example, the Schuberth C5. A good flip helmet is about as good as a helmet gets. A good flip is the quietest kind of helmet you can buy, and that's why they're so popular with long-distance commuters and those who do big miles on tour. It's no coincidence that nearly all police forces, not only those in the UK, but those throughout Europe, wear flip-up helmets. Flip-up helmets are really designed to be ridden with the chin bar down. Of course, you can ride with the chin bar up, but you'll only do so in traffic or when you're riding, for example, through a village at slow speed in order to get some cooler air onto the face. You would not ride at speed with the chin bar up because the chin would operate a bit like a barn door. It wouldn't work. A flip-over helmet, by contrast, is very much a dual-purpose helmet. With the chin bar down, you have a full-face helmet. Flip the chin bar to the back of the helmet and you'll have what is, in effect, a pure open-face helmet. And that makes helmets like this the ultimate in versatility. The flip-over helmet really is two helmets in one. Now, historically, this category has been dominated by the Shark Evo range, but as we record this now towards the end of 2024, Shark happens to have no such helmet in its range, although it is rumoured that there will be a new one coming from the French brand early in 2025. Anyway, having established what kind of helmet the Scorpion is, let's talk about the Exo-Tech Evo Pro in a little bit more detail. As already stated, the Evo Pro meets the latest 2206 safety standard. The flip-over mechanism works smoothly and without impediment. And I make this point because, of course, that wasn't always the case with Shark's Evo helmets, which went through several incarnations before all its gremlins were banished. On the first Evo model, the chin bar could be somewhat difficult to close. On later models, the pinlock visor scratched the upper edge of the visor aperture. Eventually, all the problems were sorted, but it took Shark a while. What we would suggest is that with Korean companies' obsession with quality, there will be no such issues on the Scorpion. Now, as with the Shark, when you bring forward the chin piece from the back to the front of the helmet, the main visor lifts automatically to clear it. You also get on the side of the helmet a button to prevent the chin bar coming forward. Now, that's required under 2206, and it's quite an important feature potentially on a flip-up helmet, but on a flip-over helmet, I've got to say, it's largely redundant. Helmet comes with a clear visor, but you also get a second tinted visor in the box, and that's a nice little touch. There's nothing wrong with the visor per se, it's quick to remove and easy to replace, but we're certainly not talking Class 1 optical quality here. The visor, it has to be said, is also, a little bit clunky in its operation. There are no detente notches in its operation. It's either open or it's closed. Certainly you're not going to get any kind of crack position on a helmet like this. You also get a drop-down sun visor inside the main visor, but again, its mechanism lacks finesse. In the box, you get a Pinlock 120 insert, and that's encouraging because that's the best insert. What's more, it's a 120 XLT. XLT standing for extra light transfer. That's the highest quality Pinlock you can get. The helmet comes in at 1,650 grams in a size medium. Now that's not exactly lightweight, but that's about what I think you'd expect for a good flip-up helmet or a good flip-over helmet. There's a vent on the chin, there's another one on the brow. Both will do a job, but again, there's nothing outstanding about the helmet's venting. The chin strap has a micrometric adjuster. In truth, it's too early for us to be definitive about the internal shape of the Evo Pro. We need to get it on some customers' heads before we can say categorically how round or oval the internal shape is. But our initial view is that the internal shape is less round than the equivalent Shark helmet. We have to say, however, that despite what Scorpion says in its literature, we are not convinced that this helmet is going to work particularly well with glasses. A number of people here at Moto Legends who wear glasses tried the helmet on and it didn't work for them. So if you are a glasses wearer, you need to check this out when you buy the helmet. The interior of the helmet is nicely enough finished, although we are not talking about Shoei or Arai levels of plushness here. Of course, the other thing is that nothing can be done to alter the fit of the helmet. We can't change the thicknesses of the cheek pads or of the headliners, although they can be removed for washing. Also has to be borne in mind that the helmet comes in just 2 shell sizes. Now that's the same as the Shark, but it has to be said that that is not the mark of a premium helmet. The Exo-Tech Evo Pro is a perfectly good helmet, but it is what it is. It's a direct competitor to the Shark Evo range of helmets, or at least it will be when the new one gets released. Although it's impossible to say, it's likely on the basis of the past to be a better engineered and put together helmet than the Shark. Certainly the importer tells us that he's never had any quality issues with Scorpion helmets, although to be fair, I cannot ever remember an importer telling us that they did have any issues with a particular range of helmets. But the helmet does feel very solid, it feels very well made. In our view, the Scorpion might well be considered the Kia or the Hyundai of the helmet business. That is to say, perhaps not the most sophisticated or stylish maker on the market, but their helmets are probably going to work like clockwork and never go wrong. Shark, by contrast, might be likened to a Citroën or a Renault. One might consider both these brands to have the edge when it comes to sophistication and, dare I say, a sense of je ne sais quoi, but I suspect that both Korean brands are more reliable. We did see on YouTube a guy reviewing the Evo Pro where he compared it to the Shoei Neotec and the C5. Bizarrely, given the arbitrary way in which he allocated stars to features, particularly with regard to price, he rated the Scorpion more highly than both the Shoei and the Schuberth. I've got to say, personally, the guy sounded a bit drunk, if I'm honest, although that might just have been his Dutch accent. But frankly, to buy the Scorpion over the Shoei or the Shoei would be to court folly in the extreme. The Evo Pro is a nice helmet, a good one even, but it's not a premium quality helmet. Like the Shark, the Scorpion is aimed at the urban or short distance commuter who wants the benefits of a full face helmet on the open road allied to the benefits of an open face when you're inside the city limits. Although of course this is a helmet that's going to work equally well for anybody who wants that kind of flexibility. But the helmet will be relatively noisy, and so if you do a fair amount of riding at high speed and if you do big miles, the Scorpion simply will not be the best tool for the job. Now at £350 the helmet is reasonably priced. I suspect that the new Shark will come in when it does eventually arrive in the new year, that it will come in at a higher figure. Shark is the better known name perhaps, and even a more respected name, but that doesn't mean that their new helmet will be better than the Scorpion. We'll just have to wait and see. But both helmets do a very similar job, so ultimately it might just come down to brand loyalty, fit or even graphics. But what I would counsel is don't believe everything you read or see on YouTube. The Scorpion is no Shoei, it is no Schuberth. It is very much at the same level as a Shark. It is what it is. It's not what it's not. Well, I hope that was interesting. If you'd like to see more Scorpion helmets or more helmets, then visit the website motolegends.com. If you want to learn more about this particular helmet, today's helmet, then if you click on one of the links on the screen, sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there, that will take you to a dedicated page on the website. When you're there, you can check out the spec in a little bit more detail, you can check out on availability, and obviously if you want to buy one of the helmets there and then, you can do that. Now when you buy from us, we try to make the process simple, straightforward and risk-free as we possibly can. There's no delivery charge on any item of protected wear that you buy from us. Returns are totally free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you do want to return something to us. Now we have the best price promise in the business. Joan Lewis was rightly famed for its never-knownly undersold price promise, but here at Moto Legends we go one stage better. If you can find anything that we sell being sold by another retailer at a price that is less than ours, we will beat that retailer's price by a full 10%. Now there are a few terms and conditions associated with what we call our price beat. Nothing particularly onerous, I assure you, but if you are going to attempt to price beat us, I suggest you go over to the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. If in the future you'd like to see bulletins from us about new products, then go to the website. At the top of every page there's a piece of script that says newsletter sign up. Click on there, within seconds you'll be in business. In future you'll receive our email bulletins. If ever you prefer to get your information videographically, that is to say in this form, we'd be simply delighted if you want to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the button below. Finally, I'd like to make mention of our fabulous little shop here at Motor Legends. We're based about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station. And as I've suggested, it's a small shop, it's got a small footprint, but it's attached to our warehouse where we have more than £4 million worth of merchandise arranged over 3 floors. Technically, that makes this the second largest motorcycle apparel shop in the country. But we like to think of ourselves as more than just the amount of stock here we have in the building. We're all about service, we're all about personal fitting. If you want to check us out, visit Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star ranking in the business. And when you come to see us, we'll only serve you the finest Italian illy coffee, or we'll serve you proper Yorkshire tea in a proper teapot. And who knows, if you're lucky, you might even get to sample one of our delicious motorcycle-shaped shortbread biscuits. Anyway, this has been Chris. I hope to talk to you again soon.